Hello everybody! Do you know what are we going to do today? Well, in this video, we are going to... Wait a second. I lost my train of thought. Well, again, hold on. What do we mean by to lose our train of thought? Well, if you want to know the meaning of this phrase, then you should surely have a look at today's video. In today's video, we are going to learn to express ourselves when we have forgotten something. So, this is Ayushman, and again, welcome back to my channel, Keep Learning Initiative. So, what are we waiting for? Let's stop thinking and start learning these 7 phrases. So, the first phrase that we have on the list is I lost my train of thought. Okay, so what do we mean by this phrase? Well, it means when you forget something right in the middle of what you were thinking. Alright, now a train of thought is a connected series of thoughts or ideas in your head. Okay, now I'm going to correlate the train in real life and the train of thought which is over here. So, you all must have seen train. Of course, you all have seen trains. Now, that train is of passengers. Now, imagine if the train of passengers has rolled out of the platform, chugged out of platform. Will you be able to board it? Of course not. Now, think of it like this. If you lost your train of thought, meaning your train of thought has just flew over your head, then will you be able to remember that thought again? No. So this is what the meaning of this idiom is also that. And now you will never forget the meaning of this idiom. Okay? Now let's have a look at a sentence for this idiom, or I must say phrase. I was in the middle of telling a story, but the phone rang and I lost my train of thought. So here the person is telling another person that I was telling such a pleasant story, but because of a distraction, the phone rang, I lost my train of thought. I forgot the ideas that were in my head about the story. Alright, now let's have a look at the second phrase. Now, the second phrase that we have on the list is it slipped my mind. Now, this idiom is very similar to I lost my train of thought. Now, this idiom means that a thing or information that you have forgot. Okay? Now, imagine a scenario of a birthday party. Now, there was a friend of mine, and my friend told me that tomorrow I'm going to have my birthday party at 1 p.m. Okay, I said I'll come. But what happens is that birthday party, that information that he gave me slipped my mind. And I didn't knew that his party was tomorrow. I forgot to attend it. And there we can use this phrase, it slipped my mind. Okay? Now, there is a pronunciation note that I want you to remember. Now, remember this, the ed of slipped is pronounced as t. And the ed is not pronounced as separate syllable. Okay? It's not slipped, it's slipped. Okay? Now let's have a look at the third phrase on the list, which is it's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. So now what does this phrase mean? To be on tip of one's tongue means that you know something, but you can't remember it at that moment. Okay, now let's have a look at a sentence for this phrase. Oh, wait, I know this. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. So here the person is saying to another person that I know this information, I know this name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it right now. Okay? So this is how you are going to use it's on the tip of my tongue. So now let's have a look at the fourth phrase, which is it doesn't ring a bell. Now, what is the meaning of this phrase? Wait a second. There is a confusion that arises when we use this phrase. Now, there are two phrases coming out of the single phrase. One is to ring a bell, and the second is to not ring a bell. So now I'm going to tell both of these phrases' meaning. To ring a bell means something which is familiar to you, but you can't remember it completely. And to not ring a bell means that something that doesn't sound familiar to you and you can't even recognize it. Okay, now I'm going to tell a sentence for both of these phrases, and please listen to those sentences carefully. Okay, so the sentence for ring a bell is, his name rings a bell, but I can't remember what he looks like. So here, the person is saying that I am familiar with that name. I know that name, but I can't remember that how that person looks like, his appearance. Okay, now let's have a look at a sentence for to not ring a bell. So, the sentence is, have you seen that new TV show? The one about magic? It doesn't ring a bell. Can you refresh my memory? Okay, so here the person is saying that, have you seen that new TV show? The one about magic? Well, I'm not familiar with that TV show. I don't know it. Can you refresh my memory if you know it? If you know that I know that TV show? Okay? So this is how you are going to use it does not ring a bell and it rings a bell. So now let's have a look at the fifth phrase, which is it went in one ear and out of the other. Isn't this one funny? Well, it's humorous. Now, this phrase means that when you forgot something, as soon as you hear it from one ear and you forget it quickly and it goes out of your other ear. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you that when people use this phrase, at which situation do they use this phrase? You're listening to someone speaking, but you are not really listening carefully. When the other person says something, you hear it, but you do not remember it because you do not listen to what he's saying carefully. Okay? Now let's have a look at some sentences that I've just picked up for you. Okay, the sentences are, he told me his name, but it went in one ear and out of the other. She won't remember anything. Everything you tell her goes in one ear and out of the other. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. It went in one ear and out of the other. I'm very distracted today. Okay, now there is one thing that you need to remember. You need to hear it carefully. Now, be careful. This is not a nice thing to say to someone because you are saying that you aren't paying attention to him or her. So only use this phrase when you are talking to someone else and you're talking about that person in third context, third form. Like you're talking to a person that's second person and the person you are talking about is third person, meaning that he is not present in front of you, but you are talking about him. And also talk about him with a trustworthy person, okay? Otherwise, it would be like a stab in your back if that person comes to know. Okay? Now, let's have a look at the sixth phrase, which is, can you refresh my memory? Now, this phrase means that when you're helping or assisting someone to remember something. Okay, now let's have a look at a sentence for this idiom. It doesn't ring a bell. Can you refresh my memory? Now, here we are using it doesn't ring a bell, the phrase that we have just learned. Right? Now I'm going to explain you this sentence. Here the person is endeavoring to say that I'm not familiar with the information you are telling to me. Can you refresh my memory? Means can you help me in remembering that information? Okay? Now, there is one more thing that you need to remember when you are using this phrase. Let me refresh your memory is a common phrase, but it can have a negative meaning too. People like to forget bad or negative experiences that occur in their life. Sometimes people say, let me refresh your memory in an angry way, in a crossed way, to make other person remember that bad experience, that ghastly experience. And that experience is negative. Okay? So now let's have a look at the second meaning of this phrase in an angry manner, when we use it in an angry, crossed manner. You don't remember me? Let me refresh your memory. You stole my phone. Okay? So, be careful when you are using the second meaning of this phrase. So now, let's have a look at the last phrase for today, which is, I had a senior moment. Now, this phrase is usually used by older or senior people. Now, this is a humorous way of saying that you momentarily can't remember something simple because you are getting older or senior. At least you can blame forgetting something on your age. It's so humorous, isn't it? Okay, now there is one thing I'll be telling you about senior citizen. A senior citizen is an older person, usually someone who is 65 or older. 65 is the official retirement age in many countries. Senior is often used by itself as a shortened form of senior citizen. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you one sentence for this idiom, I had a senior moment. I had a senior moment yesterday. I thought my brother was my son. It's such a funny way that the person is old, he's senior, and he's telling to his friend that I had a senior moment yesterday that I thought my brother was my son. He had forgot that his son became his brother. Alright, so now I'm going to tell you one more thing. And that's also humorous. Youthful people like to joke that they are getting old when they are 30 or 40 years old. Sometimes a young person will say, I had a senior moment, or I'm having a senior moment, as a way to say that they are getting old. Okay? And don't think that why is this youthful person using this phrase that is for older people, senior citizens. Well, they are just joking in a humorous manner. Okay? So, this was all for today. Thank you for watching my video, and please do like, share and subscribe it. And do tell me which was your favorite phrase in the comment section below. Okay? So, I'll be coming back with more new videos. Till then, keep smiling and keep learning. Till then, adieu and hasta la vista, amigos.